Hi everyone. Day 79 of the lockdown, and it's Friday. And
It's the weekend.
It is, yeah. Thank goodness it's Friday. Hey, just before we kick off, just wanted to show the offending Easter egg, which I didn't eat.
Pew.
And today, when you were going shopping, you bought essential supplies.
Yeah,
supplies. You bought me an Easter egg.
I bought an extra Easter
You
egg.
did, which is very nice of you.
I was
Thank
very
you.
worried that you were going to scoff the one that
Well,
I bought
I really
for
appreciate.
myself.
I really appreciate
Good.
it. So,
And actually, Paul has discovered a new calling in his life.
What?
And been practicing at it very hard, and I think it'll probably last long after this. He's decided that his new call is to be a cheerleader, which is a really important thing.
pray explain.
So, whenever I am working in the garden, in the kitchen, in the house, he cheers me on.
I don't do gardens.
He sits and cheers me on, and if I invite
and
him,
you've done a great job.
if I invite him to join me, he says no. His job is to be the cheerleader.
We covered the grass over 20 years ago, and I do not do gardens.
But it still needs tidied up from time to time.
I know, well, that's your job.
I can't believe you said that.
My job's to cheer you on, and I really.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Actually, talking, I know it sounds a bit of we hadn't planned that, but you're surprised. I've been reading in Numbers, which is there's a lot of stuff in it, like the test for an unfaithful wife. Anyway, I was in chapter 15, 16 today, and it's the rebellion of Korah against.
I am being faithful, but
yes, I know you are, Dan. Against Moses and Aaron, and it's I feel really sorry for Moses because he got it from all sides. Honestly, no matter what he did, it all went. I was going to say pear-shaped, but it was just and it taught me. I got a message from one of my pastor friends. We spend a lot of our lives with leaders, pastors, and their wives and their families, encouraging them and cheering them on.
Yes,
that's right. That's how I learned that skill, and encouraging them. And he just said, it's been a difficult week. He said, we're just trying to readjust to the new normal. And he said, but it doesn't. And what he put was, he said, it doesn't always please everyone. And when you're a leader in the church, and particularly the pastor, and I'm not looking to get a pity party up, but honestly, you carry with you and upon you the expectation of people.
Of a lot of people, yes.
And also you carry their disappointments as well, because they've been somewhere else, possibly, and they bring some stuff in that's not of your making, so you have to reap what somebody else has sowed in their life. And there are times that and good things as well, they expect things from you. I mean, in fact, one of the things they say to Moses is, well, you haven't brought us to a land flowing with milk and honey. In fact, we left a land just like that, and you haven't. So there's just all sorts of things. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to all pastors and leaders out there. And for those of you who aren't, pray for them, love them. It's a really difficult time, because this is really throwing leaders and pastors out of their comfort zone.
Well, you just have to find a completely new way of doing everything that you're called to do, and so therefore it is incredibly challenging. And I think some people probably are more easily, can more easily adapt, especially if they're high tech and they know all of that. So they probably can adapt more easily.
Well, that's true, but it's funny. Your dad, 92, and your mum, 89, they're shut in, and Priscilla's been taking them groceries, etc. But they've discovered FaceTime and Skype. And actually, it's a whole new lease of life.
They're doing really amazing.
They're contacting the world. Anyway, back to pastors again. I just wanted to say, if you're part of a church, and you probably are, send your pastor a wee note and say, "Hey, praying for you today. This isn't easy." And I have to say this, particularly some of the smaller churches, continue to give as well, because that's important. And I know that not everybody can, but for some people to survive, their pastors need the church to keep on giving faithfully and praying for them and supporting them. So please, be their cheerleader.
And obviously, be a cheerleader for other people that you know who, again, I think, especially if you're living on your own at this time, it has huge challenges. It has huge challenges living with someone, but it is hugely, and it's got advantages as well.
That's true.
But it is a huge challenge to be on your own. So any of your friends who are single or just living on their own, make sure that you're their cheerleader as well, and reach out to them so that it's amazing. I was reading Psalm 139 yesterday.
You doing a psalm a day sort of thing?
Yes, well,
Right, okay.
I'd started that at the beginning.
I sort of noticed that.
Yes, I was very observant of you. But they're so comforting, the Psalms, when you're in a difficult place, because they're honest, because they express sometimes the things that you feel, but also they lift your eyes to the Lord. And so it just struck me yesterday, and obviously that's such a well-known psalm and we read it all of the time, but
Which one?
all of the Psalm 139.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But especially that verse, it struck me yesterday when I read it. Verse 5, you hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me. So there's no social distancing with the Lord. He hems us in before us and behind us, and he lays his hand upon us. And that just ministered to my heart yesterday as I read it, and thought, Lord, you draw close to all of us, and even if we're living alone, that is true. And it says, when I am awake, when I waken up, you're there, you're with me. And so even this morning as I woke, I said, Lord, thank you that I'm waking up into your presence in my life, your closeness. And I suppose...
Is that before or after coffee?
No, that was actually before coffee today, so that was quite miraculous that I actually had a same that I had a same thought in my head before I drank any coffee. But it was waking up into a sense of God, you are here.
Yeah.
And I suppose this is the end of another week, and I was reflecting back on this week, and I was thinking, even at times when we're shut in and we're confined and we're not able to be as active as normal, I look back this week and think I filled my week with all sorts
That's
of
true. Stuff.
Yes, and some of it nonsense, and some of it that I didn't really need to fill.
That's why I didn't go into the garden. I didn't want to waste my time.
No, well, that was a worthwhile activity.
Was it? Okay.
But do you know what I mean? I think that we're saying we can make the most of this time, spend more time with the Lord and everything. But
Yeah,
I think it's easy to miss that too. I think you could fill up your week with all sorts of other things and miss out being still and knowing that He is God. So at the end, this is Friday at the end of this week. I just felt the fresh challenge from the Holy Spirit to say, don't rush to fill your day with all sorts of things. Make sure that you do take those times to be still and to really spend time with the Lord and know that He is God, because that will strengthen us.
Amen.
That will encourage us, that will build us up, and like nothing else will.
So, can you still watch Bargain Hunt?
You can.
We spend our time looking at Bargain Hunt and going, don't be buying that. That's not worth £40. Don't be so silly.
We've become experts.
Well,
I just want to read this poem to you. It's not one of mine, but I just think it's so beautiful in terms of that slowing down. And it says, this is the time to be slow. Lie low to the wall until the bitter weather passes. Try as best you can not to let the wire brush of doubt scrape from your heart all sense of yourself and your hesitant light. If you remain generous, time will come good, and you will find your feet again on fresh pastures of promise, where the air will be kind and blushed with beginning. It's by a poet called John O'Donoghue, and
That's great.
I recommend it to you. It's really beautiful.
Anyway, have a great weekend, and hopefully you might hear from us on Monday if you're very grateful. God bless you. Bye.